When Yahusha said faith the size of a mustard seed, he was not talking about believing harder, positive thinking, emotional certainty, or pretending doubt doesn't exist. He was talking about alignment, not magnitude. A mustard seed is tiny, but it's complete. It already contains full genetic information, a defined nature, a clear growth trajectory. Yahusha's point was never that faith has to be big, it has to be whole. Fragmented faith does nothing, but small undivided faith moves things. In Hebrew thought, faith is not a feeling, faith is faithfulness. It is hearing, trusting, and acting accordingly. So faith, the size of a mustard seed, means that even the smallest act of real obedience carries covenant authority. If you actually trust Yahuwah enough to move when he says move, that is faith. If you only agree intellectually, that isn't. That is why Yahusha mentions mountains. Mountains in Scripture are not random geography. They represent kingdoms, power structures, spiritual authorities, and systems that appear immovable. When Yahusha says, you will say to this mountain, move, he is saying that even the smallest covenant-aligned obedience has more authority than massive corrupt systems. This is why the disciples failed right before this statement. They had tried to operate authority without alignment. Power without obedience doesn't work. In covenant, size is irrelevant. Covenant does not scale by effort, it scales by position. You're either inside covenant authority or outside of it. A tiny seat inside covenant moves reality. A massive display outside covenant does nothing. That is why Yahusha constantly rebukes impressive religiosity, public confidence, loud prayer, and performative faith, and praises quiet obedience, hidden trust, and small faithful actions. This connects directly to law and love. Love is not emotion. Love is loyalty expressed through action. Faith is not belief. Faith is trust expressed through obedience. They're the same mechanism. Love without obedience is sentiment. Obedience without trust is fear. And faith without action is dead. Mustard seed faith is this: I trust you enough to do what you say, even if it costs me. And Yahusha chose mustard for a reason. A mustard plant starts invisible, grows aggressively, spreads uncontrollably, and outgrows expectations. True faith cannot stay small. If it's real, it grows and reshapes everything around it. And that is the embedded warning. If your faith never grows, it was never alive. What Yahusha was saying is simple and dangerous to religious systems. Even the smallest fully aligned act of covenant obedience carries more authority than the largest human system built without Yahuwah. That is mustard seed faith.